Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect. And this lesson is going to be dealing with, or inspired by 1 John 2 and 28, okay, which goes into basically putting in the work, all right, and remaining faithful to the Lord, that at his appearance, all right, we may have confidence and not be ashamed, okay, before him at his coming. All right, which, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be ashamed at the Lord's coming, and deep down inside, they don't really want Yahushua to come back, because they understand, or they know that they're not doing the things that are worthy, all right, to gain salvation, so to speak. Okay, now with all these things going on in the world, I was just watching the video that was done, all right, by the elder Kazak from Mississippi, okay, and basically going into more terrorist attacks coming. All right, now you got to understand that the way these devils move, there's always some forerunning justification that they can use, and in retrospect use it to justify the means that they're the actions that they're bringing, right? So for the longest, they've been, I believe in Texas, they've been warning about the border and people coming in and this, that, and the third, but they're saying no, leave it, let them come in. And now they're saying that there's a suspected terrorists, you know, amongst those people that are coming in. Okay, now it's not by coincidence that the DHS just came out and put out that terror alert. Okay, and now you got this whole, so it's all they set it up, but it's looking like they're finna do something huge. All right, something that's gonna be big enough to push, all right, this world all the way out of that old world. Okay, and into a perfect position for them to launch their full initiative for the new world. But that first comes by completely destroying the old world, all right, and completely breaking the will of the people, so they're more than willing to accept an authoritarian rule, all right, which is all part of the socialist agenda anyway. Now, as for us, okay, being in this world but not of this world, we see all this and we understand that it must needs be, it has to come to pass. All right, but we got to know that when these things are happening, okay, it's going to be very dangerous. And the only way that we're going to survive this is through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And you don't want to be ashamed that it's coming. All right, you want to be, let me go back to the verse. You want to be confident, all right, at the Lord's return. You want to be eagerly, as the Apostle Tahar coined this year, you want to be hastening onto the coming of the day of the Lord. Because the scriptures tell us that our salvation is nearer than when we believed. And it says, what? Lift up your heads. If you're ashamed, you're not lifting up your head. Okay? That's why we're always looking out, you know, for these chariots, and because we actually believe this thing. All right? Now, this is the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 28. It says, now, little children, abide in him, that when he shall appear, we may have confidence. And Yahushua is very, very close. All right, the day of the Lord's return it's close. As we're seeing these last few prophecies, really the last major prophecy, all right, before the nukes fly, okay, is right at the door. And what they're doing is they've laid, see, you have, I'll give you an example, right? You have a house that you're renovating, right? Something like that. You first need to renovate the house. You got to clean it out. You got to set up the new foundation. You got to set up the structures. You got to set up everything. And then, let's say you want to get somebody into that house. The next step is, well, what's going to be the reasoning to get such and such into this house? Maybe you wanted to renovate this house to surprise this person, and you don't want them to, know that that's the reason. And in their mind, the house is dirty and they don't want to come inside. So now that you've already set it up and you've made it perfect, you need an event, you need a reason, a cause to now push them into that house. So now that they've used this whole Vanessa pandemic and all of that to set up, or are setting up, this this image, this system, okay, and into the authoritarian draconian style that they would like to have total control, they would need an event that's going to fully usher in everything else. All right, they have these different the ma'araka, the karagma. Okay, they have the tag, all of that. They have it, the martial law. It's all in the Trojan horse. Now the Trojan horse, okay, you've brought the Trojan horse, you've invaded the enemy territory, but now you got to get them out. You got to bring out the karagma, you got to bring out the martial law, you got to bring it out, but you need an event. All right, everything is in place. Now it's the event that's gonna activate it all. Right? What's gonna push that first domino? So, could it be a major attack or attacks so severe that it surpasses the level of 9/11, and that gives them the perfect justification to run wild, and as there's chaos and blood in the streets, they could take advantage of that? It could very well be, but we have to watch and see. All right, because we know that nothing is off the table in terms of chaos when it comes to this time, because that's what the scriptures say, pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7. So we shouldn't be surprised at any kind of chaos, because we know that one way or another chaos will ensue. It's prophecy, it's biblical prophecy, and it's going to be on a large scale. So we're not expecting them to do something small. Even if they start small, we know however they start, whatever they do, however slow they move, it's going to get to that point. It's going to hit that climax one way or another. All right, it says, verse 29, if ye know that he is righteous, ye know that every one that doeth righteousness is born of him. Okay, and now we see what all, and these devils move through gradualism, all right, and one step at a time. But they also have ways of setting up one thing that can, as the saying goes, two birds kill two birds with one stone. Yeah, they also work with events where they can set up something that can shut down everything at once. Okay, as opposed to going after this and then going after that and then going after this. Well, use something that can incorporate all these things and shut it all down at once. All right, and that's how suddenly things could go down. That's how suddenly the famine of the word could come in. Okay, that's how, if they set up a major attack and they say it was through rhetoric and people listening to online extreme, all that, well, that, number one, that gives them license in their minds to come after the insurrectionists, to come after those that were speaking on these things, but then also to shut down the platforms or prohibit them from going on these platforms to speak on these things. Okay. Also, because of the attacks, that gives them the reason to put harsh draconian measures into place. Not to mention an ongoing pandemic, as they put it. It only maybe blackouts here and there. It only takes one major event or a couple major events to cripple the nation. And with a crippled nation, war is going to be in the streets. All right. And that's why us knowing what we know, what are we supposed to be investing our time in? We're supposed to be investing our time in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and doing his work. Okay? Because that's what's most important. Nothing in this world is gonna deliver us from the times to come. The scriptures say that riches profit not in the day of wrath. And what does this world really have to offer? Vain glory, temporal pleasures, riches. Well, that's nothing. All of those things, no matter how good they may feel, still can't deliver you from death. Now, this is the book of Luke chapter 9, verse 25. It says, for what is a man advantaged if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? What do you truly gain if you gain the whole world? But if you lose this truth, this one thing, all right, look, you can lose 5 things, 10 things, you can lose everything in the world. So long as you still have this truth, you're gonna be all right. Okay, but you gain everything in the world, but you lose this one thing, you're done. You don't have anything. Okay? Verse 26, for whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed. Now, what we're starting to see is a lot of people are rather, they're actually ashamed of the Lord. That's why they can't stand firm for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? But it works both ways. You know, it works both ways. If you deny the Lord, he's going to deny you. The only thing is, it's like, who hits harder? You know? I mean, so what if you deny the Lord to him? Right? He created you. Now, if he denies you, that's, I mean, that hurts a whole lot more. Now, doesn't it? See, the Lord doesn't need you to really do anything for him, but you really need the Lord to do everything for you. So whose denial hurts more? And you got to think about that when you put in those situations and you know, you deny the Lord and, you know, whatever it may be, out of convenience, out of fear, out of criticism, or whatever the case may be. It says, for whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels. And why would he be ashamed? Because, well, what kind of servant are you? All right. Because being ashamed of Yahushua isn't just, oh, I'm just embarrassed about it. No, it's not standing up for the word of the Lord, not doing what's right. Okay, not boldly standing, all right, and proclaiming the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and doing his work and standing for what's right, because you're ashamed of him. Yes, like if you you know, you dating a whore or something, you know, and maybe you guys are out in public and y'all get seen, you know, you guys get seen in public, and all of a sudden you let go of her hand. You don't even want to stand next to her. You know, you don't want to, none of that. You don't want to be seen around her because you're ashamed of her. You're ashamed of what people are going to say or think if they see you two together. If she needs something, you probably won't even, you know, because you're in public. Well, guess what? You have people like that. You know, when all eyes are on them, they can't boldly proclaim this word. They're ashamed because they know the world hates Yahushai. The world hates Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So they don't want to be seen openly professing or doing the work of one that is hated by the world, because then that would bring that hate upon them. All right, this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 25, but you got to understand, as we're about to read, what we're fighting for here, you know what I'm saying, it's bigger than that. You know, you got to throw everything aside and put your focus here. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And you got to look at it. You look at some of these people and how dedicated they are and how much they put in and how they sacrifice, you know, for corruptible crowns. Boxing, you know, track and field, you know, all the baseball, basketball, you know. Look at how they discipline themselves for that. You know, and how passionate they are about that. And that's a corruptible crown. Winning an NBA championship is a corruptible crown. Doesn't matter how many rings you get or how many points you score. All right, but yet look at how hard they go for that. So how much more for us, okay, who are fighting for an incorruptible crown? How much more diligent, how much more passion should we take in our work? How much more effort should we put into mastering our craft? You know, you can't let somebody that's working for a corruptible crown be putting in more work than you. He's working for his belly, but you working for the Lord. You know, we're working for an incorruptible crown, one that's gonna an investment that we're gonna be benefiting from for all eternity. And you can't go harder than somebody that's trying to win a boxing championship, you know, a fight. You gotta, the sign is wrong then. You know, something, because if he wants it more than you, okay, and what you want is worth more than his, then there's something wrong with you. You gotta reconfigure. Okay, you gotta sit back and re-examine yourself, man. All right, but overall, as we see the things that are happening, when we putting in work now, it's not just for, the kingdom, but it's also for us to be counted worthy to escape these perils that are coming. It tells you that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. All right. Everyone who shall be saved by their works. All right. And by faith, because you show your faith by your works. So, I mean, you got to do something because your ass is on the line. All right. But as the Lord said, we ought to watch as well as pray that we may be able to escape these things. And we know the evil days are here. Okay. So stay diligent, but watch and pray. Pray for mercy. Pray for protectance. Pray for guidance. Pray to remain in the right spirit and in the right mindset, because we are going to need it. It's going to work. It's going to benefit us. All right. It's going to benefit us. Okay. But with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. Until next time, Shalom.